Guys, it's Friday. It's 10:01 and it's the takeaway. You know how we do. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We've got a full panel. We've got a few members on here. We've got a couple of family members, well, one family member to be fair, and a couple of other YouTubers. So we got a whole load of things going on in here. Guys, this is the Man United agenda. As I said, it's the takeaway. Today, it's the 11 worst signings since January. No, tell a lie. Summer and January. We're going to try and work out an 11. Maybe you will agree, maybe you won't disagree. You'll disagree, but guys, let's see what we can do. This is the agenda. Let's get the show on the road. Guys, welcome to the madness. Matt, how are you, sir?
Doing brilliantly, Mr. B, and everybody else as well. Lovely to be here. Thank you for asking us to come on, mate. Real privilege.
Anthony, how are you, sir?
I'm not too bad, Mr. B. Looking forward to tonight's stream. And just want to say big up for everyone else in the panel and also in the chat.
Stoney, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can only extend on what Matt and Anthony's already said. Mr. B, thanks for inviting me onto the show. Looking forward to the discussions from the panel and everybody else tuning into the Friday night takeaway.
Dan, how are you, young man?
I'm good, thank you. Feel a bit out of my place, to be honest. I think I'm a few centuries behind you guys, but you know.
How'd you do that?
First time streaming with all of you, so yes, thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to the stream.
No problem. And Jeff, sir, how are you?
I'm doing well. This is a great way to do pre-dinner on a Friday. So been excited to get on the channel and meet with y'all. So here's to a good one.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Before we go any further, let's get the rules right. Ed Mayhem, where have you gone? Where's your comment gone? Why can't I see your comment? Am I going mad? Show. Right. You put Massimo tight. You put Massimo. I don't. What is going on with this? You put Massimo Taibbi in. It's this season, summer. From this season, 22-23 season. Big man, welcome to the madness, Silver Man. Cheers. Mr. Bassett, you're gonna be missed, but hopefully when work gets you in another situation, you will be here. Matthew Bassett, look, you've come with Torres and Carroll. We start again. Rules of engagement. It's this season, guys. It is this season. So we're going to start with the goalie. This one did cause me a little bit of issues, to be fair. I lost my piece of paper. Yeah, I did have a few issues with the goalie now. I've got one in mind. Let's disagree to disagree. This is what we're here for. I've got the Bravka.
That's a bit harsh. He hasn't even had an opportunity to play, though. That's harsh.
Yeah, but when he did, he was bad. He was bad when he played.
I have Dubravka on my list, but I also have Fraser Forster for Spurs. I think that he's come in and he's been a bit of a flop as well. So, but you know, Dubravka's on my list as well. I think. Well, not I think. I know he's on my list.
Matt?
I have Dean Henderson, clearly calling out Man United like he did, and then he goes to bloody Nottingham Forest and he's had a shocker, isn't he? I don't think he's ever going to go back to Man United. That's my pick.
Jeff?
I think those are Dubravka and Henderson. Again, Henderson, for all the talking he's done, he really hasn't performed.
And who have we got on? Anthony.
I also, too, our team is Matt as well. I had Dean Henderson coming in at Nottingham Forest. And so what you said, giving him the chat and the big one, he really hasn't really stood out and performed really well for Forest. He has played a couple of good games, but all of them have been a bit disappointing.
Okay, so if we gone So what are we deciding between the panel? Somebody's Matthew Bassett's gone Butland here. I think he had less opportunity than bloody Dubravka, to be fair.
Has Butland played for United yet?
No.
So
No.
Yeah, I think even with the Henderson one, I must admit, I don't actually have a goalie, so I'm going to give a pass on that. But regarding the situation with Henderson, Forest have probably bought about 12 million players. So I think with all of those changes and stuff, even for him being a goalie, that defensive line has changed so much. Even if he was prime Buffon, I think he would still have had still had difficult games to actually be in goal for Forest. But as he said, I don't actually have a goalie, so I'm going to listen to whatever the panel says.
What are we going with, guys? Is it Henderson or Dubravka then?
Henderson.
I'm going to make a debate. I'm going to make a debate for Dean Henderson, right? And I don't like him. Like, and I'm not going to pick him.
You don't like him.
What's he done to you, man?
The reason I'm going for Dubravka over Henderson is because I think it was in the month of September, Dean Henderson was nominated Player of the Month for Nottingham Forest because he made the most saves in the Premier League at that point. So I'd just say that throughout that season, I would say that Dubravka has had a worse season than how Dean Henderson has, even though he is injured now. And as a United fan, I don't like him, and I would rather sell him in the summer. I would rather say, performance-wise, not agenda, I would say Dubravka has been the worst performing goalkeeper out of the two out of him and Henderson.
What have you got, Jeff?
Yeah,
I see you sitting down there silently.
Dubravka did us a huge favor by coming here and becoming cup tie and then going back to Newcastle. I can't vote for him. And we're gonna loan Henderson out to the Portugal second division next year.
Right, so I still haven't worked out who decided on yet. Right.
It's got to be Dean Henderson, Mr. B. It's got to be.
I think, are we going Henderson then?
It looks like it.
I'm not happy with that.
Dubravka's done too much for us.
I don't know how you can put Dubravka in when he isn't a starter anyway, and Henderson is a starter, and clearly, like we all said, the bitching and moaning that he did towards Man United, saying, "I've got to get an England start, I've got to go here, like F you," and he's not even getting his England place, and he's flopped. He's gone down in the market as a goalkeeper. That's got to be bad.
All right, I'll give it you then. I'll let you have it.
Okay, I've got one now. So we've got to go left back. Encyclopedias, guys. Mm-hmm. Guys in the chat.
Cucurella.
Ooh,
good shout.
Yes.
Who was that first one?
Cucurella.
Yes, I am down.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Bad.
I didn't have anybody down at left back.
Because I wanted him here with us, and I'm glad we didn't get him.
Did you?
Yeah, we did want him, but Man United wanted him anyway. They were looking at him. Yeah, Jeff, you're right. They were scouting him. They wanted to buy him.
Then we've got Malacia, who's 10 times better.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. A lot of people I heard would put him as maybe an option as well. Maybe Malacia was not a good buy because he hasn't played a lot either, has he?
Well, for me, I think Malacia's actually played really well. I mean, he's come in about 2021, and he kept Luke Shaw out the team for a long period of time. So I would say that people saying that Malacia hasn't played pretty well, they're expecting him to overtake Luke Shaw, but he's only 2021, so he's a young upcoming left back who I think that in the last 8 months you've seen of Malacia, in my opinion. I think that if this is what he's done in 8 months under Erik ten Hag's wing, I think if it another 8 months, he'll actually be pushing Luke Shaw out of the squad.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, Malacia wasn't even on my list. I think for me, I probably looked at. Did you mention the left back, Mr. B?
Yeah, we'll talk about left back now. Just Cucurella.
For me, even though we've probably got these two players, they do play at left back, but probably sometimes more as wing backs. I think Dendoncker that went to Aston Villa, he's definitely on my list there. I mean, I'm not saying that he was amazing at when he was at Wolves, But since he's gone to Aston Villa, it must be his cousin or his distant double brother-in-law. So I've got Tendonka on there. But do you know who else as well? When Frank Lampard was in charge, he purchased Ruben Vinagre at Everton. They spent £17 million on that defender from Sporting Lisbon, and I'm sure they shipped him back off. So for me, it's Tendonga or Ruben at Everton. They have been absolutely atrocious at left back.
Ruben's a really good one. Good shout.
Yeah, I didn't consider him because I've got down here Cucurella and Perisic. So for me,
are you having Perisic at left back?
Yeah, I had him as left back, left wing back.
Wing back, yeah.
But no, I'd honestly say the Everton guy. That's a proper good shout. I didn't consider him.
It's difficult with Everton, isn't it? Because they've been so poor, you can't remember the real poor ones of the poor ones.
He stood out though. He's worn the hat. He's worn the boots. He's got all of the medals.
Wow. Left back.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. Everton left back. Yeah, he's just shit. Let's be honest. Let's put it straight there. He has been, and he's been absolutely terrible. Even under Frank Lampard, he's not really doing it for Deutsch at the minute. So I totally agree with that.
We're on left backs.
The only thing about Cucurella over him though is Cucurella was brought in to lock that position down, and Chelsea's had to play other players out of position just to cover his deficiencies. And the amount of money they paid for him, it looks like he may not even be in the team next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. If this is the end of last season, you just said he was the best left back in the Premier League. It's just funny how things can change over like the team that you choose to play for.
But the reason with me as well with Cucurella is that
Everton's choices aren't very good these days.
Everton's choices are terrible. What we going with, guys? What we deciding?
Ruben from Everton, surely.
Yeah.
Ruben from Everton. Yeah.
I think he's doing karaoke in Tenerife at the moment. We just don't know where he is.
Centre back.
Oh my God. There's so much choice. The panel are going to be open for discussion on this.
That's who I was going. That's who I had. That's who I had. That was my first one.
Definitely. Thank you, Jeff.
I mean, what has happened? He was the player that Napoli had for, who they didn't want to let go, And then, he went to Chelsea and you think, oh shit, Chelsea have brought up a great, and he has stamped the place out.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he was my first choice. That was my first choice.
Yeah. First name on the sheet.
Yeah, he was my first one on the sheet. Is there going to be any argument from you, Anthony?
No, there's no argument with me. I totally agree with that. But he's absolutely terrible. And next to him for centre back as well. I hope you don't mind me saying this. My other centre back is OMONDI. So I'm gonna tell him. You said that. I am gonna tell him that you said that. He might be watching.
He's gonna know. Yeah.
Koulibaly.
Our teammates are not allowed on this list.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you very much. Just enough. Look, Koulibaly was easy. Koulibaly wasn't an issue. We have got to go for a centre back.
See, I've got Willy Boly for Nottingham Forest. He's only played 8 games for Nottingham Forest this season.
Isn't he in the chat? Didn't he play in the Champions League last season?
Yeah, he's had some shockers too.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Dan? I think Willy Boly for me is in the same situation as Henderson because of the amount of players there, and the amount of rotation.
Yeah.
That's the reason he was on my list as well, Dan. Willy Boly. So we've got Willy Boly there. My other one here as well is Tottenham brought in. I don't know whether they actually purchased him. Actually, I know they had actually initially brought him on loan. That Clement Longley from Barcelona.
Oh,
down at Tottenham.
Ooh. Yeah.
like that one was just throwing me off. I don't know why he kept coming up, but Tottenham brought him in. Originally on loan.
I wrote down 2 players in each position. So I wrote 4 that centre backs, and Longley was one of them. But I also have Fofana from Chelsea, because Chelsea signed him for 80 million from Leicester, didn't they?
Yeah, but he got injured though. But he got injured. Yeah, can we blame him for being injured? Really?
Can I blame Van Dijk for being a crap defender this season?
No, definitely not.
Why? He has been crap. He's been
Definitely
horrid. He's been terrible.
That's definitely off the menu, man.
Why not?
Definitely up the menu.
He's still better than the other guys.
Oh, he is, but he's had I mean, you're talking about the season, aren't you? And who's had a torrid time? Like, I just feel like he's really bad right now. And
the only reason why I wouldn't add him on there, Matt. The only reason why I wouldn't add him on there.
These are signing too, right? I mean, these are people that got brought in.
But even still, Matt, even though I know that the show is about players actually being brought in, I think if there is a small percentage in Van Dijk's defense, I actually support Liverpool, by the way. The whole team hasn't played good, so it hasn't just been Van Dijk. So that's the only small percentage in his defense.
You're right. He wasn't bought in a transfer window anyway, but I just think he has been poor anyway. But it's very hard to say transfer wise defenders. Yeah. I find that's very difficult.
Yeah. So yeah, I think Longley's in there. I think didn't Everton West Ham ended up buying Emerson from West Ham, West Ham ended up buying Emerson from Chelsea. I mean, he hardly ever played. He was always out on loan, and they ended up spending like 13 mil. I know, look, in football terms, 13 mil is not a lot of money, but how on earth Chelsea managed to get 13 million pounds for Emerson? I'll never ever know. But I said he's a right back, so he don't really cover the centre back position.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Matthew Bassett's got Baddy Shield down here.
I rate him. I think
Shield's played all right.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I think he's played. He's straight in. Him and Thiago Silva.
Yeah, I think he's good too.
He's good. He's definitely not on the list.
No.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He just plays Koulibaly.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Oh, shit, he did, didn't he? Yeah, you're right. And he's the one who didn't register for. He's the one who they didn't register for Champions League as well. Chelsea. Only registered for the cup. So who's the other centre back? What are we gonna go with?
Longley's been terrible.
Longley.
Koulibaly and Longley.
Yeah.
And what are we gonna do for right back?
I think he's already got Emerson on that list. See, I want to post someone else, and I want to go for DJ Spence. I mean, Spurs brought him in, and then from I think it was Middlesbrough or Nottingham Forest, wherever he was from, and then they've now loaned him out into the French league because it's not worked out. So, and then now they've signed Pedro Porro. It looks like he's got no future. So I think DJ Spence is one of the failed right backs of the season, in my opinion.
I don't know if it's his fault that he failed, though. Whether that's actually him and the reason,
or the manager.
Well, yeah. I don't know, like how to categorize like what is a failure if someone isn't given their chances and not playing, or I've had
a look at his stats, and even though he's been brought on as a substitution, he's played 11 games this season, and he just hasn't done it. So even though you're saying that he's not getting starting options, you still got to take your chances when you come on as a substitution. So it doesn't matter whether the manager starts you or not. You've still got to take your chances. He's not a defensive player, is he? He likes to push. I think he likes to push forward, doesn't he? I think that's the problem with the fact that Conte was playing like 8 at the back every single time, and he was always getting it comfortable. I watched him in the Championship last season because I wanted him at United because I thought was going to leave, and I was like, DJ Spence would be perfect as that upcoming right back for United, but. You know, obviously he went to Spurs and now he's in the French league, just like I guess learning his trade.
Yeah.
I think that's hard.
I think he's starting every match in the French league on though.
What's going wrong? Why are they starting him and Tottenham weren't? No, you said 11. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What we going with? We're struggling.
Yeah, I think that's hard on Spence. I think that's more to do with. I think that's more to do with politics between Conte and ENIC actually purchasing him. So I don't know. I'm not too sure on that one. It's a bit harsh.
No.
I looked up another one. And I had to look him up because I couldn't remember his name because he hasn't played that much. Kier from West Ham. They brought him in. Was supposed to be their right back savior. And he barely got
17 mil.
pitch.
Okay,
That's a good call. That's a good call, Jeff. 17 mil they paid for him. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'd put him in then because West Ham are doing terrible at the moment.
but in fairness, all of West Ham's, because obviously Jeff's mentioned that centre back there. They bought Naif Aguad as well for 29 mil as well from Rennes, didn't they? And he has been centre back. He has been atrocious. So I think it's all a West Ham defense. We discovered everybody else called Bali in this all West Ham defense, if anything.
Well, I was going to
Just
vote
putting the
for
West Ham
Everton
team out.
team.
It's just basically the West Ham team, Mr. B, is the whole 11 that are duds. All right.
Oh, wow.
Well,
But
West Ham have the most overrated player in the
Them
Premier
and
League in
Everton.
Declan Rice. So I mean, that's my opinion. I think that
What happened to Paqueta as well?
See that's one that's going to come into midfield. So if we got Tilo Kira at right back, then
yeah, I don't mind that. I think that's a good shout.
okay.
I read the other week. I had Kyle Walker because of the size of his penis. Apparently, he's quite small. So,
What the?
remember he got out of the club, didn't he?
Mr. B, the bar incident, Mr. B, where he flopped his Johnson out, didn't he? Took a few goals.
No. I understand what you're talking about. I have no idea. One, why it came up. Two, what it has anything to do with the show.
What came up, Mr. B? What came up? I
Oh,
don't know what you-
Lord have mercy! Don't even start bringing it down that angle.
No,
Bring it down. Bring it down.
That's a one-off.
Central midfield.
This is an absolute. I think this is probably going to be the easiest positions for us. My first player is Calvin Phillips.
That's who I have. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
mine too.
Fatty boy Phillips.
Me three.
Yeah.
Is there anybody any argument to Calvin Phillips being the first in there?
No.
No, definitely not.
That's
I
incredible.
think even if
Everybody-
Calvin Phillips was here, he'd be like, yeah.
He'd be like, yeah, guys. I'm into the team of the season, but it's just not the.
See,
It's
I
just
always
not a
thought
good
he'd be a
one.
good backup CDM for us. I just don't think
Really?
he's getting any playing time, and when he does, he doesn't fit their passing style at all.
Yeah, 'cause he couldn't pass wind. Like, never mind a freaking football.
I think with when Bielsa left as well, and Jesse Marsh came in, he didn't play a lot for Leeds that season either, and it was kind of strange that Guardiola decided to pick him to be in that team where he's never going to get a game, and he doesn't even get a game for England at the moment. So I don't know what he's doing. It's like the Phil Jones of Man City. I don't know.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But in all fairness, then we brought up one earlier from Aston Villa, Den Donker, because he's a midfielder, he's a DM, and he's on 4. So mine would be Den Donker in with him as well.
Okay.
See, and I would have gone Coutinho.
Yes.
To be fair.
Yeah, I can see that.
Coutinho's in
Are you
mine
going
as
to
well.
count him
but-
as a center midfielder or a wing, though?
And that was a few years ago, wasn't it? That he
Oh right, I see. Yeah,
No. Coutinho was on loan last season to Aston Villa, but they bought him permanently in the summer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He did
Oh,
a
he's
signing
gonna
for Aston
count
Villa.
that. Okay, fair enough.
Well, look, I mean, I have no problem. I have no problem
No,
not counting.
worse than
You
him.
want to count that as the first
Worse.
season?
Then Donker.
Den Donker, definitely.
This
Yeah.
is just a query with this player, and it may well be the same situation with the Spence situation.
Basuma.
Basuma, what on earth has happened there with Basuma?
Yeah, he was brilliant
Worse.
for Brighton.
Yeah, that's what's happened. Yeah, I don't know. That's strange, that one, isn't it?
Well, they've had the Harry Kane effect,
He
haven't
went
they?
to a
Good players
completely
going to
different-
Spurs.
Playing style.
Actually,
Well,
that's
you
a
look
good
at
point.
it,
That's a
Yeah, go on. Sorry, Mr. B.
No, I was to say that was a good point by Jeff. That the playing style that he went to.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
the thing is, I've got another two players here. Okay, one of them, because I know that we've got a lot of you guys from Manchester United. You guys are going to have more justification in this, right? So he's not on my list, but it's just a query here, by the way. Okay, Jesse Lingard hasn't really been able to have an impact on Nottingham Forest. I wonder what's happened there with him. Whether everything off the field is still having an effect on his performance on field. Because he went to Norwich, and I understand it was on a free, but he was meant to be more like the marquee signing as well. And for whatever reason, there you go. For whatever reason, that hasn't worked out for Jesse.
It hasn't really, because we're talking about the money. He's only on 1 year contract, and then yet again, at the end of this season, he can go, I'll have another 300 grand. Who wants to pay for me? No new promotion team? Go for it. Give us 200. I'll be.
There's also another one. There's also another one as well. It plays for Newcastle. That's St. Maximin, because he hasn't been scoring. And
but they didn't buy him this season.
And Newcastle fans said he goes, they're not worried if he leaves.
Yeah, but he didn't.
They didn't buy him this season.
So no, it was last season. Sorry, it was last season.
A few seasons, like three.
I've got another one. It's gonna hurt me to say this because I support Liverpool, but it just has to be Melo. Arthur Melo. Oh, Arthur Melo that we brought in on loan from you.
Yeah.
He is, goodness gracious. This man has caused me so much stress.
Has he actually played? Has he played more than 5 games?
No, but he has still been alarmingly a waste of money. I understand we brought him on loan. With a potential,
he's mellow, a bit mellow for Liverpool. Yeah,
half a mellow. Yeah, he has to. We have to at least get one Liverpool player in here.
You see, I've got a player here that no
out of the
mentioned
squad,
yet.
though. That's the thing. Who's keeping Melo out of the squad?
Jeff, do you know what the thing is? Even with
James Milner.
Melo, even think we've got James Milner, we've got Curtis Jones. It hurts me to say Curtis Jones. Can't get in front of Curtis Jones. Can't get in front of James Milner. As much as I love Harvey Elliott, Harvey Elliott is more of an offensive player. So we've got an offensive player playing in midfield. He still can't get in front. And Naby Keita and Ox-Chamberlain, those other two players are keeping Melo out. That's
And you think Jude Bellingham's going to join you in the summer? Yes, and it just fix all your problems.
No, all I'm going to say to that is
United. Thank you very much.
All I'm going to say for that question, and that is a serious question. We'll save that for another show.
All right. Yeah, well, invite me onto that show because I'd like to have that conversation.
Please do. Yeah.
Readers TV.
Yeah, well,
welcome to the Madness, bro. Welcome to the Madness, bro.
The player I wanted to say as well, guys, is he's currently plays for Arsenal. And they signed him this season for just over 40 million euros. Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, I had him down as well. Fabio Vieira.
Oh, he's been all right.
I
think they're working him into the squad.
Yeah, the thing is I put him down as a second option, right? I put him down as a second option, but I was like, am I being harsh? Because Ødegaard's probably been one of the best players in the league this season. And when you take him out of the squad, it is noticeable that Vieira isn't as good as Ødegaard. So that's probably why he doesn't stand out as much. But I still think that he hasn't played to the potential and the price tag that he's been bought for. Because he has played over 20 games this season.
Yeah.
Andy?
But they're top of the table.
How old is he?
Yeah. Fabio Vieira, he's 20...
He's 22.
23, 22, but it's like what I said, because we're sorted now with that midfield. You know, obviously with Martinelli, Saka, and Ødegaard. So obviously he's going to find it hard getting into that team, you know. But I mean, he's a good backup to have. You know, obviously one of them gets injured, but with me, more like he plays in that Ødegaard's position, and he ain't going to get there if Ødegaard's playing. So do you know what I mean? So that is an hard decision. I can understand why you picked him. I can. I can. But I mean, for a player, he hasn't lived up to his price value of 35 million. He hasn't. He hasn't. You know.
But Anthony, I think if if Arsenal are top of the table and they are on the success that they are doing, and like Dan said, he's played 20 games, and it can't be that bad. It's not like they're fifth.
No, he's not that bad. He's got a couple. He's got about what, 4 goals?
Something right about the team, and he must be a good fit, and it must be helping their options for being able to.
Yeah, he is definitely helping their options because he suits the. When he comes in as a rotational player, he evens out that balance, if you like, in midfield. So
I remember when Ronaldo came into Man United and he was not that great the first season. You were like, he's a little bit too hasty, like Anthony is right now, and then he just went off. So maybe Vieira the same thing. I completely agree with you, Dan. Though it might not work, but it's too early to tell.
So what we got? So we've definitely got Phillips. We go with them Donker. Did we say agree with? So we've got one more.
I say Coutinho because he was brought in from Steven Gerrard and he's currently got 0 goals and 0 assists.
Melo or Coutinho? I'm taking Coutinho, to be fair.
Yeah,
Coutinho.
Look, let's go back a few seasons, Mr. Bean. Just fuck it, just put Fred in there.
Yeah, I think Coutinho should go in more so because he's for the way in which he was purchased and he's actually played more games than Melo and he hasn't performed. So I'd say Melo. I mean, sorry, Coutinho.
I was gonna say.
Coutinho.
Oh wow.
Okay, guys. This is the part that I'm looking forward to.
Amazing.
Now, obviously, we've got 3. We're gonna go 3 strikers now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave you lot to give you a list of names, guys, in the chat if you are still there. What we're doing, we're discussing the Premiership's worst 11. At the moment, we've got Henderson in goal. We've got Ruben at left back. Transfers. Thank you very much. It's late for me, man, and my cup's got a little bit more than Coca-Cola in there at the moment. We've got Ruben, Koulibaly, Longley, and Kira. We've got Phillips, then Dunker, and Coutinho. 3 strikers, guys.
The easiest.
I want to hear Jeff first. Jeff, talk to Sterling.
I have Sterling down.
I didn't have him down.
He is.
I didn't have him on my list.
Man City to Chelsea is dropped off the table.
Wow.
Oh, you know what?
Wow.
That is a massive call.
Jeff,
I didn't.
I think when you hear some of the other names, I think Jeff's going to change it about Sterling when he hears everybody else. You know, I have a feeling.
Well, Mr. B, I had.
I probably will, but that was the one I saw.
To Everton.
Mopay.
His numbers versus Man City last year.
Sorry, the numbers versus Man City were.
Go ahead, Jeff.
His numbers at Man City versus what he's done at Chelsea this year. It's the numbers at Man City versus Chelsea. There's no comparison. He's not even a quarter of the player he was.
He's not got Kevin De Bruyne here, has he?
Well, that is a real. I tell you, that one's that I didn't even contemplate.
We can't pick the steady team either, Matt.
Exactly.
Is anyone going to say Richarlison for Spurs?
Yes, that was mine. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Mr. B did so much strikers that I've got Richarlison and Sterling didn't even make it to my list. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, HD Gamers got Darwin Núñez, Richarlison, and Sterling.
Okay.
Oh,
I can't go with Núñez. He's been producing.
No.
Yeah, I won't
harsh.
have Núñez down. It's not that kind of show, I'm afraid. I can't have Núñez down. Richarlison definitely.
One of my first ones is sorry, Anthony. Go ahead, Anthony. I apologize. Go ahead.
It was we paid to Everton from Brighton to Everton.
Mopay.
Yeah. I think he's been very good this season. He hasn't really scored.
Yeah. I agree with Anthony on that.
Is anybody going to say Aubameyang?
Yes.
I have him down. I have him back.
Yes. Yeah. Mine's has been Mopay and Bangi.
I have him as well.
Skamaka at West Ham.
Yeah. Skamaka, yeah.
They bought him. I mean,
Maka, yeah, I have some Maka too as an alternate. Yeah,
£35 million.
Is that how much they paid for him?
I forgot about Skamaka, to be
I mean,
honest.
I put Haaland. I don't know whether you guys agree that he's been bad. He isn't hitting
that,
it
Matt?
like he should be. Haaland, mate, Haaland. He's been terrible, isn't he, this season? Awful. There we
Is
go.
anyone gonna say Wout Weghorst?
Yeah, I can understand that one as well because he hasn't scored really many
Do you
goals.
know
have
what?
he?
I can
I can understand that, but I could also
Yeah, well,
understand.
I
I
can
can
get
also-
that call, but I think that one would be so harsh.
I know.
You could also put Anthony in that
I really
equation.
like Weghorst. I really
No,
like
what
Weghorst,
I think you need to do is come off the channel now, Stoney.
Anthony for £82 million has to be in this conversation.
Why?
He has to.
No, I was a bargain. I was
Yeah,
a bargain.
I agree.
Okay, so first things first, we're gonna choose one. I can't believe his name just came, but you know what? It is what it is. First things first. First name. Are we going to agree that it was Aubameyang?
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think so. Hasn't been good.
I agree about
I have two players that's not been mentioned yet. I have Diego Costa for Wolves.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have Guedes for Wolves as well because they bought him from Benfica in the summer and now they sold him in January.
Fair enough.
That's
So,
very true.
Well, that's a good question then. Who would you rather have, Aubameyang or Diego Costa?
well, you don't rather have him, do you? Because these are terrible, aren't they? That's what we're talking about. Who would you
Who would you rather have as your striker if you had to pick out of the two, if you had a team?
Woeful. Oh, it's hard.
Well,
Isn't it?
Aubameyang hasn't performed under the last two managers, Potter and also Tuchel, has he? So he hasn't done it and he hasn't played since. So, my opinion, I'll put Aubameyang in there.
Yeah, I'll go with Aubameyang.
Okay, we've got two more.
Mopay.
I do say Skamaka.
Skamaka.
I do say Skamaka.
Agreed, Dan.
And Skamaka's had so much chances to play in the league.
Yeah.
Thank you for the price. That's exactly what Jeff just said. For his price, he's had an opportunity to play in league and also with West Ham playing in Europe. And goodness, didn't he feature when England played against Italy? I think he came on as well, didn't he? I'm sure he came on as a sub. Yeah, Skamaka. He did. He came on.
Don't tell me he played in the Euro final as well.
No, I hope not.
I think he did.
No, he'd come on his sub. I think he'd come on his sub in that Euro final.
There you go.
Yeah.
Up and
down.
I
think Man United were after him, weren't they?
We were.
Yes, we were.
Who's this?
Well, that's what happens when you get a sensible manager in.
I'll tell you what. The reason I give Mopay a pass is because Everton's so bad, and he played in that Brighton system. Again, I don't think that his value has dropped off. I just think he doesn't have everybody around him the way he did at Brighton.
The thing is, though, as well, is that he was brought in to actually help out Calvin Phillips, but Calvert-Lewin. So it seems that Mopay's been relied on a lot more. It's kind of like Wout Weghorst with United. He was brought in to be that second striker. And Martial was supposed to be the main striker after Ronaldo left. But then, obviously, with Calvert-Lewin being literally built like a poppadom, where he just breaks out every single week, obviously, Mopay's had to play in a system that he's not used to. Plus, Lampard played terrible football, but maybe he gets some game time under Sean Dyche.
So what we're gonna go with, guys? We got one more position.
I say Richarlison.
I'm saying Richarlison without a shadow of a doubt. Oh, where's he gone? Oh, maybe.
What do you guys, Tony?
It's hard. Mine would have been Skamaka and Aubameyang and Mopay for me.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Mopay over Mo. You'd have Mopay over
No, you know what? Let me
Richarlison.
retract that. Let me retract that. Actually, I'm gonna Mope is not gonna be on my list. Anthony has to be in there.
I knew it.
Well, do you know what? This is
£82 million, Anthony. The only
This
good
is
thing
fun.
he had,
This-
the only
this-
good thing
this-
Anthony has is good neck tattoos. That's the only good thing about Anthony.
This is gonna go to a vote anyway. You've had your point, but Anthony's not even gonna be in the conversation. So you've had your point. Well done. You think Anthony's only got a good neck tattoo. We will have this conversation off screen. But for now, Anthony's not on the list. Thank you very much, Stoney. So the other person who we're going to be at, I'm saying Richarlison, to be fair.
I've just thought of one there as well. What about Daniel James for Leeds?
And you know what? He was down there as well. That is such a good shout as well, you know.
But it doesn't seem like much of a flop, whereas Skamaka and that seems like a real flop.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a shout.
Yeah, no, it is a good shout, but I just don't expect him to be like fireworks for the club, like moving there. I didn't expect it to. Like Skamaka was like, that was a really good signing for West Ham.
Yeah,
he could like be something for them.
Who's
Like
James playing for this week?
I know whoever he wants to. Like, his agents is happy.
It does seem when you Google it, when you Google it, guess who else is on the list? Liverpool striker Darwin Núñez. Apparently he's on there.
Yeah,
I'm not having Núñez in there.
I can't say much about Darwin Núñez because he's being compared to Haaland, which I think is unfair in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
And I liked Darwin Núñez when he played for Benfica because I really got my hopes up United were going to sign him in the summer. But yeah, I like Darwin Núñez or not. I mean, you could say him headbutting someone could put it into consideration, but you know, let's not talk about 7-0 at Anfield. Let's just not talk about he did score a brace. So I'm not saying anything about Darwin Núñez. I think he's played well.
Dan, why are you bringing that up?
Because I just think that I like to see myself as a neutral, even though it was a painful moment in that night. And
you're not a neutral. You've got a Manchester United cap and Manchester United shirt.
I'm not saying I'm a neutral, but I'm saying like I like to see him as I don't want to be a biased United fan. And I'm going to give credit where credit's due. And I think Darwin Núñez isn't a flop this season.
Okay. And
you know what that is a sign of? Somebody who's been raised with good manners.
Just so everybody knows, I'm a biased United fan, just so everybody knows.
I can say that.
Melanie, it's Mr. B, by the way. It's not Matt.
Big up, Mel. Big up, Mel.
Right, guys. So did we go? We went Skamaka, Aubameyang, and
Richarlison.
Are you happy with Richarlison? Right. Yeah. Before we go, we've got a manager. Let's choose a manager. Now, we've got two options. We either go with a manager who came in the season and got sacked halfway through, which puts it down to one, or we can go with a manager whose performance probably deserved what he got as in the sack, because there has been a few that have walked out the door this season. My choice would have been Conte. I just think he's been absolutely fantastic. He's been an absolute great watch. I'm glad I'm so happy that he didn't come to United, and watching all of those. Yeah, all of them Tottenham fans self-destruct. I would be having Conte, but obviously I understand that, Dan, you've got a different perspective. You went somewhere else.
Yeah, I would have gone for Jurgen Klopp because I just think that considering he said after Real Madrid when they lost in the Champions League final, said book the hotel for the final. They're going to come to the Premier League and everything. No, I'm joking. Mine is Nathan Jones for Southampton because. He wasn't even the starting manager at the start of the season. So he came halfway through the season. I had about probably not even a month in the job and then got sacked. So I think that he's probably the best shout in my opinion. So he didn't even start the season with Southampton, came in and got sacked. So yeah, that's my opinion for Nathan Jones.
We've got one from HG Gamer, Potter.
Nah, he's still his time. I think the good thing about what was mentioned, obviously, about Nathan Jones, I think one of his press conferences, he spoke as if he had won every piece of silverware in history, as if he wrote every rule, every tactical approach to football. And I was in disbelief that a man that spoke in the manner in which he did just did not deliver. It's just goodness gracious. I understand that you're meant to believe in yourself, but sometimes just be a little bit humble. Produce, produce first. So yeah, I think I'd go with Nathan Jones as well.
I think
now I've heard that speech is closer to me.
When he was manager of Southampton, you got to think it is a Southampton team. But if you want to go up a bit more, I think it was Tuchel from Chelsea. Look at all the quality he signed, and he couldn't get nothing out of this team.
Tuchel?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
He won the Champions League with him.
No, but I'm on about this season alone. When he got sacked, he brought all that quality of players in, and he couldn't work with them, and they were so low down in the Premier League table.
I have to disagree.
Did he buy them in? I mean,
it's an hard one, but think of the talent he bought.
I don't think he bought them in, man. Todd Bowley came in. You saw what was going on.
Todd Bowley brought him in.
I like him. He's a good manager, but this season
he's just gone to Bayern Munich. He's just sacked one of the richest and most expensive managers in world football. He's gone to Bayern Munich.
But
I think Conte's
in all fairness, is Bayern Munich. So, I mean, this is just Premier League we're talking about, aren't we? So, in all fairness, I think his aim. The only reason being was because Chelsea put all these class players in, and he couldn't motivate them. And look how poor they were. If he weren't that poor, he wouldn't have got sacked.
They're still shit.
But I think that was due to the fact as well that Todd Bowley wanted his own man as well. Like he didn't like Tuchel. Obviously, there must have been things that happened behind the scenes because if you remember, Tuchel, I think he drew one game and then he lost the Champions League game. And then he got sacked for it when they were literally like third in the league at that point.
But trouble is, that you go back when Potter was the manager of Brighton. I mean, you look at the manager of Brighton now. I thought they've replaced Potter, and he's doing a better job than Potter. I see Brighton attacking more than what they did under Potter.
But why is he doing a better job? You think maybe the structure within the club is the reason why he can go into such a team from Sassuolo, and he came from Shakhtar Donetsk, who clearly haven't even got a home ground at this minute. It's the structure behind it, and I think that's why with Conte, how bad it was for Spurs, and I think with Chelsea as well, with what's going on with Abramovich and the whole Russian war and having to quickly get that deal done with, that it was just it's difficult for Tuchel to be able to be on the same level as Todd Bowley was, because they just didn't like each other, it seemed.
No, I really rate Tuchel, and I wouldn't put him in this list. I'd say
he's a good manager, but what I'm saying for what he did for Chelsea this season, with all the quality that came in this season at Chelsea, he couldn't motivate them.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised when he was sacked.
I'm not slagging the guy off, like saying he's a rubbish manager. He's not a rubbish manager.
Yes,
he is a good manager. He's a good manager, but he only did poorly this season at Chelsea.
What team do you support, Anthony?
That's why he got Potter in.
We forgot somebody. We forgot someone. Anthony.
I'm waiting. I'm listening to all this.
Arteta. I think Arteta's been diabolical this season.
He's awful. How lucky is he? There's no talent in there. That's all luck, that is. 2 years ago,
what's your managing skills like Mr. B? I wouldn't have you on the list though, but who do you reckon is right? Tuchel?
No, I'm not having Tuchel.
Anthony.
Lampard.
Oh, go on, then chuck him in.
I think Lampard. I said Conte, but now that I think Lampard.
Jesse Marsh.
No, I wouldn't give it to. I don't know, man.
I don't
know.
Lampard.
Some
of the stuff that Jesse Marsh come out with this season as well was like, what are you on about, mate?
Yeah, but you know what? I think that he at least with him, I think he knew his level. Like, I think he knew what his level was. Maybe Lampard, was Johnny Big Balls, and he thinks he's the guy.
Well, Fat Frank, that's why he can't see his fucking balls. Never mind. Like,
It's hard. The manager's going to be hard.
Well, look,
it's just the way Lampard left Chelsea. The way Lampard left Chelsea, and then the way he
I'll go with Lampard.
just could not do anything at Everton.
Lampard.
Yeah.
I'm taking Lampard
with this team.
I still say Nathan Jones, but if I'm outnumbered, then I'm outnumbered.
I agree with Nathan Jones. That was really short and crap, but yeah.
So what we go with, guys? There's one Jones, one Lampard.
You could have Brendan Rodgers from Leicester.
Yeah, but he's still there.
He's not been
He's
sat
still
there.
there.
Yeah, but he's still
Right.
I'd say David Moyes has been performing worse than Brendan Rodgers this season.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
again,
you're not allowed to
trying to
mention him
think
on
of
that
somebody
panel.
who just came. Somebody who,
Who you got?
somebody that just came in this year. I can go with Nathan Jones too. I mean, that would really him out.
So that's right. So we've got two Jones. We've got one Conte. I'm gonna go Conte. We've got
Lampard.
one
But Mr.
Lampard.
D, are we doing it as new managers that came in?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
look,
why. That's why it has to be Nathan Jones. Nathan Jones is like a sub being subbed in the same game. That's why it's Nathan Jones. He came in this season and he was stuck this season. So that's why I
Lampard
think
was
he has to be
obviously there
Nathan
at the end
Jones.
of
Yeah.
Lampard
well,
was
look-
at the end of last season. I don't know whether you want to
Yeah,
count him in.
it
or-
probably. I think you might have won this one, Dan. I think it does have to be Jones then.
Yeah, if that's the rules,
Yeah.
that's the rules. They're the rules. Mr. B.
Right. So
I
guys,
can live
we
with,
had
with that.
no United plays in there, no Liverpool plays in there. We did all right. So we had Richarlison, Aubameyang, Skamaka, Coutinho, Dendonka, Phillips, Kehra, Longley, Koulibaly, Rubin, and Henderson.
Isn't Dean
managed
Henderson
by-
on loan, Mr. D?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Listen. So you've made us go
Who was
53 minutes, and then you've brought up that he's on loan. No.
is that?
Henderson. He's saying Henderson's on loan.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
he's
you're-
the kind of Man United choice in a half sense.
You know what? You're full of shit. You're 53 minutes too late, mate. To be fair, you're 53 minutes too late, guys. I'm actually gonna try and get this team printed up and get it sent out on Twitter and see how much people agree or disagree. To be fair, look, we've hit 52 minutes already. It felt short, but I know it was a long one, guys. Let me work out how to do this. No, wrong. No. Do you know what? Give yourself a shout out. Let us know where we can find you. We'll start with Dan. Dan, where can we find you, man?
I have my own Man United channel called Red Devils TV, where I just do daily content based on Manchester United. So if anyone could check it out and possibly leave a subscription, then I'd really appreciate it.
Matt, where can we find you, man?
Dan, I'll come and drop in. Thank you, everybody, on the Man United agenda. Please smash the like, share, subscribe on this beautiful channel if you can. Keep supporting. It really does mean a lot to the Man United agenda. I'm Matt at Football United TV, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Come say hello. Give us a share, like, if you can. That'd be bloody brilliant. And thank you so much for having us on. And everybody else, happy Friday, everybody.
Anthony, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me. I'll go on my socials. I'll go Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at my name at Anthony Herbert. You can also find me on Football United TV, where I present a show on Friday called Gunners from All Corners. That goes off at 9 o'clock. And also, I'm starting a new show on Matt's channel, Football United TV, and we're doing the Premier Review show, and that's going to be going off on Monday at 8 o'clock.
Excellent.
Stoney, where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at Cop Talk. That's KOP space TALK. We are on YouTube every Thursday at 10 p.m. So that's Cop Talk, Thursday at 10 p.m.
And Jeff, sir, where can we find you?
At Jeff Egso, TMUA on Twitter. Muddy Frog Gigger on Instagram. And then you can find me on Rich Sports doing some things and here on the channel.
Guys, thank you, man. As I said, I'll try and get the team printed up. I've had to write it down because I know as soon as this stream finishes, I'm going to forget everything that I wouldn't have written down. It's Friday. It's Friday, man. It's my favorite. It's my favorite day of the week, man. I say it every time. Guys, if you are still here, please hit that like, hit that share button, hit that retweet button. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. As I say every week, you don't have to be here, but you are, and we appreciate everything that you've done. Cheers, guys, and we're out. Thank you very much.